Hattiesburg, and a pleasant day to all our listeners. This is Abby, your host for Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. I'm here to bring you updates, news, and more from our community. To add to all the excitement today, we have Mississippi Moments with Herbert Sasaki and a news wrap with Nishranika to ensure you're up to date on all the hottest topics. And guess what? We have some very special guests for you today, Joshua Brown and Jaden. You definitely want to stay tuned for what they have to share with us today. But before we jump into all the fun, here's a quick message from our sponsor. So hang tight, we'll be right back with more Southern Miss Today.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online. Sponsorship comes from American Graphics. Located at 8 Commercial Warehouse Drive in Hattiesburg, American Graphics provides custom screen printing and embroidery. They can be reached by phone at 601-602-2277, and the website is goamericangraphics.com. American Graphics, printing at its finest.
Welcome back. In campus news, there will be a wind ensemble concert Thursday, November 14th. The Wind Ensemble is one of the premier musical assemblies of Southern Miss. The organization presents several concerts throughout the academic calendar, spanning a variety of styles such as traditional and avant-garde. Performances since 1985 have included Mississippi Bandmasters Association conventions, All-South Honor Band, 3 regional college band directors national associations, and 2 national conventions of the American Bandmasters Association. The Wind Ensemble is under the direction of Catherine Rand. Also in campus news, a renowned champion for environmental justice whose story inspired an award-winning film will be a presenter for a concluding program of the Fall 2024 University Forum, scheduled at the University of Southern Miss. Erin Brockovich, whose pursuit for justice for residents of Hinckley, California, exposed to 30 years of Pacific Gas and Electric's contamination of the town's water supply, led to her portrayal by Julia Roberts in the movie Erin Brockovich, will discuss America and Mississippi's water crisis today, Tuesday, November 12th, at 6:30 p.m. in Bennett Auditorium on the Hattiesburg campus. Admission is free and the public is invited. Brockovich continues to advocate for environmental justice, raising awareness about water safety and pollution issues around the country, making her a prominent figure for the fight against corporate environmental negligence. In Hattiesburg news, a Mississippi civil rights pioneer who was born in Hattiesburg has been honored by the Mississippi Humanities Council in Visit Mississippi. Saturday morning, a Mississippi Freedom Trail marker was unveiled honoring the late Victoria Jackson Gray Adams. She was a founder of the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party and the first African-American woman from Mississippi to run for United States Senator. Adams died in Baltimore, Maryland on August 12, 2006. In Mississippi news, Americans composted about 3.3 million tons of food waste in 2019, according to the Environmental Protection Agency's most recent estimates. Of that, 208 tons were in Mississippi. That may seem like a lot, but considering that between residential areas, commercial food services, and food retail, Americans generate 66.2 million tons of wasted food that same year. That means about 5% of the nation's food waste is composted, with the rest of landfills where food waste is the most commonly found material. Food decomposes much slower in landfills than when composted. Lacking oxygen, it also produces methane, a harmful greenhouse gas. While these statistics are grim from a sustainability standpoint, they do convey an opportunity for more composting companies and systems to arise. Machinery Partner analyzing food composting in Mississippi was a large part of analysis conducted to find where is an appetite for composting and where composting infrastructure may be lacking. This analysis also includes a visual looking at the quality of compost per capita using data collected by the Environmental Protection Agency. The data was released in 2023 but represents 2019, so it precedes new programs and initiatives for composting programs in some states. That's your news update from Southern Miss Today. Next, we'll have the latest in sports and weather, so stay tuned. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer.
In response to attacks against Asian Americans, Maddie Park raised over $250,000 to donate cab rides to the Asian community.
There is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
Support the Asian community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Welcome back with our action-packed sports segment. Let's dive into the latest scores, highlights, and sports. Get your jerseys on because it's game time. Our next football game will be against Texas State this Saturday, November 16th. Go Eagles! Today, November 12th, the men's basketball team will be playing against Loyola New Orleans. On Thursday, November 14th, the women's volleyball team will be playing against Marshall. On Friday, November 15th, track and field will be at the NCAA South Regional. The women's volleyball team will be continuing against Marshall. Also on Friday, the women's basketball team will be playing against Southeastern. On Saturday, November 16th, along with the football game, and Sunday, November 17th, the beach volleyball team will be playing against LSU. Head to southernmiss.com to keep up with all the Golden Eagles sports activities. As for weather today, look for a low of 60 with a 20% chance of rain and a high of 78. The feels like for today is 57 to 80 degrees. Tomorrow, look for a low of 66 and a high of 77 with a 66% chance of rain. Tomorrow's feels like is 66 to 75 degrees. Up next, we have Mississippi Moments, produced by the Center for Oral History and Cultural Heritage, with Herbert Sasaki remembering the sacrifice of Japanese Americans in World War II. Check it out.
This is Mississippi Moments, produced by the Center for Oral History and Cultural Heritage at the University of Southern Mississippi and supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. I'm Bill Ellison. The 442nd Regimental Combat Team is considered the most decorated unit in U.S. history. Herbert Sasaki looks back with pride at the sacrifices made by those Japanese Americans during World War II.
The 442nd had probably had more casualties than any other unit in the Army. We went over with 5,000 men, but by the time the war was over, we went through 20,000. As a regimental combat team with a normal strength of 5,000, there was about 8,500 Purple Hearts given. That many people were wounded. And we had about 850 killed in action. Our unit was the most highly decorated unit in the United States Army history. There was a lot of casualties because in this kind of a unit where your main job is to spearhead a drive, you're going to have a lot of casualties. And so we were given that 442 room at Camp Shelby Museum because we were probably the highest decorated unit that Camp Shelby trained.
Bill Ellison hosts Voices of Our People World War II, a new podcast from Mississippi Moments, sponsored by the Mississippi Humanities Council. That's Voices of Our People World War II, wherever you get your podcasts.
That was your Mississippi Moment for today. Coming up after this next break, we have the pleasure of hearing from Joshua and Jaden.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
Put a frog in boiling water and it'll jump right out. But put a frog in cool water and slowly heat it up, that frog will boil. As veterans, we tell ourselves the lie that we can handle anything. We let the water boil. You are not a frog. If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach. Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Now please give a warm Golden Eagle welcome to Joshua and Jaden. How are y'all?
We're doing well today.
Doing good today.
Awesome. Joshua, could you tell everyone a bit about yourself?
Yes, I am Joshua Brown, the owner of JB Boxing and Fitness. I'm a boxing promoter here in Hattiesburg. I came to the city and I started boxing here in Hattiesburg, and my career escalated, and also after that I became a boxing coach, and now I'm a boxing promoter, and that's what I do full time along with personal training.
Okay, awesome. Jaden, could you tell a bit about yourself, please?
Jaden Santos, I'm 20, and I started boxing with Coach JB in 2022, and I did not know how to fight before I came to his gym, and he's been a great coach, and we're going to reach a lot of goals together.
If you don't mind me asking, Joshua, how old are you? Because you've got a lot going on.
I am 33 years old.
That is a lot for how young you are.
Thank you.
Could you talk a bit more about JB Boxing and Fitness?
All right, JB Boxing and Fitness is a platform that I created back in October 2019. I created the platform to help change individuals' lives. If anyone wants to come work with me, you do not have to know how to box. I can use the sport, I can use the craft to help you get in the best shape of your life. Again, it's about strictly saving lives. But if you want to chase a career, go far with it, I can also put you in the ring and help you pursue a career. I can set you up for success. And I use the platform to host shows. I have a boxing event coming up November 23rd.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to revisit that event in a minute. Jaden, could you talk about how you got started with him, please?
Well, I was at Crunch Fitness, and I was literally hitting the bag, and this guy named Steele walks up to me. He's like, hey, man, he could see the potential. Some people have a gift for that. And he just gave me his number. I hit him up. I remember the trial class I did. I was like, I don't know if this sport's for me. Because it was tough. I went from lifting weights, I thought it was going to be easy. Nothing easy about it. We don't play boxing. But, yeah, I was inconsistent when I first started. But, Coach held me accountable. And now we're on to great things.
So this wasn't your original interest? Like, not to say when you were younger, but, like, is this something you saw yourself doing previously?
No and yes. I think it had been on my heart for a while to do so, but I originally had played soccer for about 8 years, and I had done track, so I was more along the lines of running and team sports, so it was an interesting transition over from, like, team sports to solo sport, because you're the only one in the ring, and you're not counting on anyone except your coach, your corner, and yourself. So it was an interesting dynamic, but I really do enjoy it, and it's my life.
Okay, awesome. For you, Joshua, was this something you had done since you were younger, or did it was something you've done?
No, it wasn't something that I'd done. I actually had hopes of doing it. I had dreams and aspirations of doing it. When I was in the 5th grade, I had a friend who showed me who Floyd Mayweather was, because I was channeling my anger the wrong way, like getting in a fight, high school. I grew up around a lot of guys and single parent mothers, and none of us had like fathers and stuff. So in the neighborhood, we'll get into fights and physical altercations, and I was channeled the wrong way. So later on in life, I moved to Hattiesburg, and a lady who was retwisting my dreads, she sent me to a gym. And when I went there, I fell in love. I haven't turned back since.
Awesome. Jaden, how, not to have you sit there and be like, oh, he's great. How do you feel about him as a trainer?
As a trainer, I would say sometimes he's such a good trainer that I get annoyed because he holds all of us accountable. He holds every single one of us accountable. He will not let you be comfortable in practice. Like, we don't do any comfortable stuff. We always go past our comfort zone. I was difficult to work with when I first started training with him. So he is one of the guys that, like, he knows how to teach anybody. And if you can teach me, and I'm very, like, it takes me a long time to learn stuff, you can teach anybody. And Coach can teach anybody, man. Great mentor. He gives me a lot of advice on things. And just great, like, technical work we be working on and all our drills and everything like that. Very open-minded to different ways of coaching. I think that's a good thing. So that's one of the best qualities, open-minded, caring, cares about you as a person, not just as a fighter.
Of course.
I'd say that's a good thing.
Okay. Of course, you have the background in boxing, but how did you work with yourself to become a trainer? Like how he mentioned with having an equal balance of focus on the boxing, but also the personal element of it and teaching someone else.
by surrounding myself with trainers who had more knowledge than me, who've been around the sport longer than me, and just asking a lot of questions and doing a lot of studying and research within my own, alone time, and the things that I did in the ring and things that I've learned, I just translated and I wanted to make it better. And so when I work with somebody, I just look at them for who they are and I meet them right where they are, and I'm able to differentiate like the skill level, and I just repetition. I just hit them with a lot of repetition and just be patient. Take a lot of patience. So that's where I developed it at.
Okay, awesome. Let's see. Could you talk about that event that you mentioned earlier, please?
Yes, absolutely. So the event is downtown Hattiesburg. It's actually in the gym that I came out of. It's called Hattiesburg Boxing Club. The address is 202 Unetta Street, Hattiesburg, Mississippi. The event will take place there, and it starts at 3 p.m. The doors open at 2. We have a nice host of sponsors. We have great people. The energy is great. There will be 17 fights, and for the fighter with the best performance, I'll be giving out a belt. But this show here is very, very special. I will be honoring my boxing coach who have been coaching for 52 years. In my eyes, he's a legend. His name is Robert Williams. So that's it. This is a special show to me, very dear.
Okay, thank you. Jaden, you mentioned before we got on air about your name. It's on your shirt, actually. Could you talk about how you got that title?
So El Pantera, it means the Panther. And as a fighter and whatnot, I think it's important you associate yourself with something, you believe in, how your style, your personality or whatnot. And my inspiration is that's my style. I just jump on people. I pounce on people. Halfway across the ring, I'm there. So
awesome.
That's pretty much it.
Okay, wonderful. So let me think here for a minute. How many people do you get in your fitness, your company that you run? Is it a small business or is it?
It's a small business. So on average, maybe monthly. I get them all throughout the year, but on average, like monthly, I say I get at least 10 to 15 new people a month. I have some people who've been there, like stay the whole year. Mm-hmm. On average, I would say maybe like 15 to 20 of those also.
Okay.
Yes.
And you mentioned how it's a good way to work with anger management.
Yes.
Do you see that a lot in people that come in?
Yes, I really do. I also, can I tell you that I host youth camps in the summer, and what comes with that is you have to be a good mentor. You have to, a lot of people deal with mental health, so I with boxing, it helps with all of that. Mental health, anger, people who are depressed, I have to deal with all that. Autistic, like I have a lot of kids who are autistic. It helps with all of that.
Okay, awesome. Jaden, do you feel, you don't have to share a whole bunch of information, but do you feel that it is a good outlet? Of course it is, but personally, do you feel it's a good outlet to help manage and make yourself feel better?
I say if I miss a day, it's not good for my mental. So I try, to show up every day. It's been like a life-changing thing because I did used to struggle with anger a lot, and once I got into boxing, it was easier to control it because as they say, if you're too angry when you fight, it's over. So I like how boxing, it shows your character, it shows who you are. Are you a quitter? Do you go the extra mile? Just stuff like that. Like, it shows everything about that person. And, that's pretty much it. I mean, just helps me with my overall mood. More energy throughout the day. You would think you'd be tired. But.
So for other people that are struggling with anger issues, this is definitely something you would recommend people work with?
Absolutely. Anybody, man or woman, I think everybody should try this sport out. It is, again, it's great for your mental health. It's good for cardiovascular health. It's good for hand-eye coordination. Um, and again, he said something very important. It helps you. It helps you like think. Like, for example, if you are angry, then you're gonna make bad decisions. You're gonna do bad things. But in the ring, you get angry. That's the worst thing that you could do. It's gonna cause you to make a mistake. Everything that happens inside the ring can be translated into how you navigate through life.
Okay, awesome. And not to call out the person that's right here filming, but I noticed that you, when you came in here before, that you're filming. Is this for like promotion purposes? I'm just curious about like your promotion methods.
Yes, it's for promotion. We always get content. It's most importantly for memories. One day I may not be here, and I have two beautiful daughters, and I don't like myself. I didn't know, like my father. I didn't know like a lot of sacred people, so I don't want them to have to go and ask somebody. They can research me. They can look and say, okay, that's who my father was. Okay, this how many people he helped. These are the lives that he affected. So yes, I try to document the story.
Awesome.
Because we are writing a story.
Of course.
Can I say something about Jaden and
Of
his
course.
story? He had an incident once before he came to me. He had to learn how to walk again. You want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, of course.
You do not have to if you do not want to. Just
Nah, it's no problem.
Okay.
No problem at all. So before I came to JB, I was at a work accident and I had a back injury and 6-hour surgery, and then I had to relearn how to walk through my recovery process. It was rough, you know, and then it was interesting because I was like, I want to do boxing now, you know, because it had been on my mind, you know, and everybody was like, you can't do it, you know. They're like, you were close, like I had a close death injury and had to relearn how to walk. They're like, it's not, you know, it's not a good thing for you to do. And I pretty much said, watch me. So I basically, you know, there are a lot of people that just did not want to see me do it. And I noticed when I first started, I had more support than I have now. And it's a little ironic to me, just because it's like when you start something and you're not good at it, people support. But once you get good at something, I feel like a lot of people will stop supporting you just because you're at like the plateau that they didn't reach themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So it was it's definitely been a rough recovery, you know, when it first started, like the first year. I know when I was practicing, you know, a lot of pain, but like that's where, you know, his strength and conditioning comes in, and I was able to recover actually better because I strengthened the key areas. So
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that, especially for anyone that is listening that may have a similar issue and will be maybe more likely to work towards fixing any issue, whether it's anger or like a physical issue like you had. Is there anything else y'all would like to add before we finish?
I don't think I have anything else.
I just want to say thank y'all for having me. Major shout out to USM. And y'all come out to the gym sometimes and work on your health, man. Work on yourself first so that you can be the best that you can be when you go out into this world. So make that daily deposit like I tell all of my fighters and all of my clients. I always make a daily deposit. We do it. We make time for everything else. Make time for your health. Even if you go walk for 10 minutes, even if you do some jumping jacks, no matter what it is, work on yourself, work on your health, and you will be much better. Don't try to pour from an empty cup.
Would you like to, right before we close, would you like to put your website and y'all's social media or anything else you'd like people to check out?
Absolutely. My website is www.jbboxingandfitnessllc.com. My Facebook is Joshua Juwan Brown. My Instagram is redlife, RED_LIFE. Everybody follow me, come and support, and I will get back to you guys.
And then my Instagram is Jaden_El Pantera. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, awesome. I will talk to our people for the social media about putting that up. Thank you so much for coming and providing all this lovely information. Coming up, we've got Nishranika with Graduate Thesis Project Competition.
For Southern Miss Student Media, I'm Nishranika. So the graduate school held a 3-minute thesis competition. Now I absolutely love the event, but for people who may not be as into research, a 3-minute thesis competition is an academic competition for graduate students. The presenters are allowed one PowerPoint slide, no props, no other media, and 3 minutes to explain their research. A mark of any great researcher is being able to explain what their research is to a non-academic audience, and that is exactly what the competition looks for. The rules are basically just make sure you know your research enough to explain it to people not in your field. Sounds much easier than it actually is. This year, the grand champion was Alyssa Saw from Polymer Engineering. The runner-up was Amy Coronado from Polymer Engineering, and Madeline Klubertans from Kinesiology won People's Choice Award. Alyssa Shaw speaks on what it was like to participate.
I felt good. I thought it was a great experience. I think as grad students we get really good at representing our work to other academics. But for me, it was a real personal challenge to check my understanding, because they say if you really understand a topic, you should be able to explain it to an audience that's not a specialist. And I really enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed hearing all the work from the other disciplines as well.
I can barely even tell people what I was doing in the lab yesterday within 3 minutes. I tend to go on a tangent. All this tells me is there's a lot of preparation to do before grad school. For Southern Miss Student Media, I'm Nishranika.
Thank you for listening. Real quick, we've got one more shout out from Joshua.
All right, I want to shout out to Dr. Whitney Howard for having us. Me and my team, she's been taking great care of us. And I want to thank the entire radio station here at USM. Y'all have a blessed one and continue to be your greatest self.
Thank you. We are thankful for Seb Hodges, our audio engineer, and Michaelan Williams, our film producer, for keeping this bird soaring. We especially want to thank our program director, Shania Williams, our executive producer, Oari, our assistant producer, Adeline Fields, and our general manager, Dr. Martin, as well as our lovely guests today. Thank you for listening. Remember, fly, Eagle, fly. I'm your host, Abby Buzigard, signing off. Stay creepy.
Sponsorship comes from Southern Beverage, your local Michelob Ultra distributor. Michelob Ultra has significantly fewer carbs and calories per serving if you are watching those in your diet. You can reach Southern Beverage by phone at 601-268-9111, or you can find them on the internet at southernbeverage.com. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri, and Southern Beverage ask you to please drink responsibly.